I'm never going to get married. I don't want to get married.
Why?
There's no benefit for the man. He only has everything to lose.
What?
A man can be completely faithful to his wife, provide, protect, take care of the kids, obviously when he's not working, whatever. And the wife can step out and cheat. And what's the results of that? Man has to pay alimony, has to pay child support, loses his house, loses the cars, loses everything. Why? What's the point? And then, it's a coin flip. Flip a coin if your marriage is going to work. Those are the odds. Those are the chances. If you want to get married, cool. Throw a wedding, put the rings on each other, say your vows, you're married. You don't have to submit nothing with the courts. Yeah.
Die alone?
The only reason why somebody is not okay being alone is because they're not okay with themselves.
Exactly. I agree.
That's it. Like, if you're not okay being alone, you have issues with yourself that you need to take care of.
The conversation around dating has shifted, and a lot of women still haven't caught up to it. More men are stepping back from marriage and long-term commitment, and the reaction to that has been impossible to ignore. A lot of modern dating advice no longer works because men are no longer approaching relationships from desperation. Welcome back. Today we're talking about why more men are choosing distance, peace, and caution instead of rushing toward commitment. By the end of this video, you'll understand why so many men have stopped feeling obligated to save situations they didn't create.
Why men are saying no to marriage. First of all, let's talk about freedom. A lot of men today are realizing that marriage isn't the happily ever after that they were promised. Instead, they watch other married men who are stuck in unfulfilling routine. They're financially drained, they're constantly walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. Meanwhile, single men, they have their freedom, their money, and their peace of mind. Then there's the wonderful changing dating landscape. Modern dating has made commitment more risky than ever, with hookup culture, social media attention, and dating apps giving women endless options. A lot of men just feel like marriage overall is an outdated contract that doesn't benefit them in any meaningful way. Why would he want to commit to a woman that might be keeping her options still open or out there playing the game still? And then what? She cheats on him? There's really no penalty for cheating in your marriage. So he's supposed to just let that happen and then she leaves and takes half? I don't think so.
There's also growing frustration around the idea that men should sacrifice endlessly while having fewer freedoms and protections in return. Society still expects men to provide, lead, and perform at a high level, but often criticizes them the moment they establish standards of their own. That imbalance has pushed many men toward detachment. Some men would rather stay single than constantly negotiate their peace away.
Men don't want to marry anymore because the risk outweighs the benefits. There's a risk that comes with marriage that essentially only benefits a woman. A man marries you and can only hope that one day you don't wake up and say, I feel like I don't love you anymore and I want to leave and you can't do anything about it. According to ASA, 70 to 80% of divorces are initiated by women. Among college-educated women, it jumps to 90%. You know what's crazy? I mean, a lot of us women don't have anything a man actually wants that we can bring to the table.
At this point, many men are no longer asking what someone brings to the table. They're asking whether marriage improves their life enough to justify the legal, emotional, and financial risks attached to it. For a growing number of men, the answer has quietly become no. Once that realization settles in, the urgency disappears completely.
If I don't marry her, she could never take any of my shit. Right. You would have a problem with that. Just marry me. Well, you don't trust me? Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm protecting myself. You just said men should know to protect themselves before they get it. And you're right. If a man doesn't protect himself, it is his fault. Right. I'm not going to marry you because of the divorce rate is mostly initiated because of women. I'm not going to marry. It just doesn't make sense to me.
One major reason men hesitate to marry today is the fear of losing everything through divorce or unstable relationships. Too many stories exist of men spending decades building their lives, only to watch it unravel in courtrooms and settlements. Whether women like hearing it or not, those examples changed how many men view commitment. Risk changes behavior every single time.
Women are never single. The idea of a woman, like a man, going 6 or 7 months without talking to, dating, fucking an ex, messaging some guy, they are constantly either talking to a guy, sleeping with a guy, even if they're not fucking anyone, they're talking to 5 or 6 guys on Instagram. Yep. Women are never single, which means every single time you get a girl, you're taking her from other guys. She likes you the most, which also means that even if she's with you, when she's around other men, she's still poachable. Would you want your girl being friends with me? No, you wouldn't. Because you know what I'm going to do. This is why the idea of her hanging around with a bunch of dudes is not acceptable in the first place. And she's going to come out and go, they're just my friends. You may pretend to think they don't want to sleep with you because you know they do. You may pretend to think that, but they don't view you as a friend.
You can even see examples of high-profile relationships collapsing publicly despite fame, money, or status. That reality forced many men to realize that success does not protect anyone from disrespect or instability. Watching those situations unfold made a lot of men more cautious, not more hopeful. Once trust weakens, the entire system starts to look different.
You are being a doormat. I'm letting you know. I'm looking you in the face because you brought this case here.
But it's been 5 years. I don't
It's
wanna
been
lose the whole
5 years. You're not losing the whole 5 years. You're gaining the next 5 years. You are gaining the next.
But I want to have them with him. I want to have the 5 years with him. I don't want to start all over again. That's too much.
Right.
It's too much. And you know what? Right, what? You agree?
Yes, I want to be with you, but...
Then you know what? No, you know what? Around, you either marry me or you reimburse me. It's that simple. I have the ring already. All you got to do is get on your knees and propose.
Your Honor, she is not going to rob me of my manhood and demand that I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to get a ring. I'm going to propose to her when the time is right.
Take this one.
I have not even got to build a relationship with her family.
In case no one else has figured this out, y'all are not compatible. You are living in a fantasy world, baby. In a fantasy world.
Your Honor,
this is not your husband.
Your Honor, I spent so much time invested in him.
Your boyfriend.
It's not fair.
It may not be fair, but it's true. Baby, he is not your husband.
Please.
And you are not going to sit here on this room with me and cry over somebody that does not deserve your tears. Absolutely not.
You can see the frustration building when someone expects commitment automatically and it doesn't happen. A lot of men have spent years being told their standards were either unrealistic or selfish. So naturally, some of them stopped explaining themselves altogether. That silence is what's catching many women off guard now. The dynamic changed slowly, and then all at once.
This is why you can't date women with trauma. Women with a lot of trauma have become hardened by life. They are more selfish creatures. That means they will do things to you with zero disregard of how it affects you just to benefit themselves. If you want to attract women that aren't trauma-ridden, hit the link in bio.
Another issue many men talk about is emotional baggage and unresolved trauma in modern relationships. A lot of women are entering dating situations carrying years of unresolved problems, resentment, or distrust. Over time, men started asking themselves whether taking all of that on was actually worth it. Many concluded it wasn't.
When you were at your peak value, you had zero interest in monogamy. But then you find a man who's 35 at his peak value. When he was 19, no girl spoke to him. When he was 23, he was broke. When he was 24, he had no life experience. He finally gets to the point where he's now at his peak value. Him at 35 is you when you were 19. You did whatever you wanted in your peak. Now I'm finally got there. And I had to work for my shit. Gold and L'Oreal gave you. I had to go through hell to get on this yacht. You got on the yacht with an Instagram DM. I had to buy it. And now you're telling me I need to fucking settle down and behave and grow up? Fuck you.
Everybody at this table should be proud to be sitting here in front of a man's man.
A lot of men also notice the contradiction in modern dating expectations. Some women want complete freedom during their younger years, but later expect traditional commitment, protection, and stability on demand. More men are simply deciding they don't want to participate in that arrangement anymore. They're no longer ignoring mismatched expectations just to avoid being alone.
Yeah, I just think marriage is an L. In today's day and age, I mean, there's obviously the tradition component if you're religious, but when it comes to the government involvement and the potential financial ramifications of having to unwind a marriage it does not make sense. Just a couple quick stats on the marriage thing. 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of divorces are initiated by women. 90% if she's college educated. 90% of child support payments go from men to women. 97% of alimony payments go from men to women. So I think marriage is a pretty big L for men, and they get absolutely crushed in the court system. Prenuptial agreements can get thrown out. So even if you do have a prenuptial agreement, they can definitely be thrown out. They're not bulletproof. So don't get married, guys. Don't do it.
Fellas, the biggest thing many men are realizing is that nobody is obligated to enter a situation that no longer feels beneficial to them. More men are focusing on themselves, their health, their finances, and building stable lives outside of relationship pressure. The dating market will continue changing whether women like it or not. If the message hit, leave a comment below, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.